So I was hoping there is a slide. Looks like one slide is missing. Okay, all right. So let me explain what a handler is. Handler is basically a filter. So if you're writing a servlet, there is a servlet filter which is actually inserted before and after, so that it can intercept incoming HTTP requests, and you can do anything you want. For example, logging, authentication, access control, whatever. The JAX Web Services handler is actually playing exactly the same role, but this is for SOAP requests. So it will be intercepting incoming SOAP requests, and you can do anything you want, including caching, logging, the authentication, whatever. And it will also intercept outgoing response message. And again, you can change it and in whatever you want to do. Okay, so that is handler. Okay, so JAX Web Services provides a handler interface, and it contains handleMessage and handleFault. Okay, and it provides a context object. Okay, and this context object is a MessageContext object, and you can actually get the message, as well as you can find out whether message is inbound and outbound. Now, there are two sub-interfaces of this handler interface. One is a SOAP handler interface, and the other one is a logical handler interface. Okay, so there are three interfaces that are provided by JAX Web Services. All right, so let's talk about this handler type. So SOAP handler objects have access to full SOAP message, including headers. Okay, so if you need to have an access to SOAP headers, then you want to use SOAP header interface. Okay, if you want to, and the logical handler is independent of the protocol and have access only to the payload of the message, meaning it will just have an access to just the content. Okay, the data that is being sent from the client. Okay, so if you don't care about SOAP header structure, then you can use logical handler interface. So this is an example of logical handler interface. So I have a my logical handler class, which implements a logical handler, and logical handler has a generic type of logical handler context. Okay, so it does implement a single important method. In this case is handleMessage. Okay, so basically handleMessage will receive logical message context object, and you can get the message by calling getMessage method from the MessageContext object, and this basically represents the payload, meaning just the data that is coming from the client. So that's logical handler. SOAP handler, on the other hand, has a complete access. Let you have a complete access to the SOAP message, including header structure. So in this case, I have my SOAP handler, which implements SOAP handler interface, and this again you implement handleMessage method. This time is going to receive SOAP message context object rather than logical message context object. And then when you get the SOAP message, this SOAP message includes both headers as well as SOAP bodies. Okay. Alright, so that is the end of the presentation. So let's take a look at the hands-on lab. So again, it's pretty simple hands-on lab. So exercise 1 is SOAP handler, and exercise 2 is logical handler. Okay. So again, we are going to just open the project and run the project, and we'll take a look at the code. So here, so we are basically adding the message handler, in this case SOAP message handler, to the Hello Web service that you guys have built before. Okay, but this Hello Web service is provided under hands-on lab samples on the NetBeans directory. So you can just open this one, or you can use the Hello Web service that you built before. Okay, so here we are going to add SOAP handler. So in this case, you say right-click, new, and other, and on the web service, on the web services, you are going to create message handler. So select message handler, and then you're gonna name it as my message handler, and then you provide your package. So I say my package 2 or whatever package of your choice. Then it will create the skeleton code of my message handler. Okay. and so this is what we are going to see. So as you can see, it just added some bunch of lines of code, and which includes handleMessage. So here in the handleMessage, we are going to do very simple things. So we are going to just so this is actually added by the NetBeans. So we're going to just comment this out, and then what we're going to do is we're going to call log to system out, and then basically we are passing the MessageContext object, and this is our code. We are just logging it. Okay, so in this case, when you call the getMessage method of the MessageContext object, what you get back is a SOAP message. Okay, yeah, so we haven't really talked about the Sage yet. But SOAP with attachment Java, the API for Java. So SOAP message class is basically representing the whole SOAP message. Okay, so what we can do is we can get the SOAP body and then get the text context, and that is the content, right? And we also display whether this is inbound or outbound. We can find that out from the MessageContext object. Okay, so we get that property, and if it is the outbound, then we say this is outbound message, and if it is inbound, then we're going to say inbound message. Okay, and then we are going to, so we write the this handler code, but we have not configured it yet. Okay, so we're going to configure this handler. So we are going to right click this hello web service, and then select configure handlers. So once you got configure handlers, basically you can add handlers. Okay, so add handler, and then you actually specify your my message handler. You select the my message handler you just created. Okay, and click OK, and then so basically when you do this, it's going to create hello handler.xml file. Okay, so if you take a look at the hello handler XML file, you can see it actually specifies the name of the handler and the actual class. In this case, the name and the class are the same. Okay. Okay, so now you can run the you can test the web service. So you deploy first, then you're going to test it. So when you do the test, basically you are playing the role of a client. Okay, so when you test the application, like say hello and JavaPassion.com or JPassion.com, you can see there are handler log message being displayed. So it's basically one is inbound, it's get intercepted for the incoming message, and the outbound message is also intercepted. Okay, so that is a SOAP message handler, which is pretty simple. Logical handler, on the other hand, have an access to data contents, but it works exactly the same. So we are going to create the logical handler, okay, instead of the message handler, and we're going to call it my logical handler and my package 3, and then we are basically adding code to my logical handler, a skeleton code that was created by NetBeans. And here basically again we are just displaying we just display the direction. Okay, so we get the direction, and then we are going to just dump the message by calling dump message, and dump message is again calling get message, and then we get the payload object, and then we are going to just display that payload message. Okay, so we call if the source object is not null, then we just do the source, and we also get the get source as a string. Okay, and then so get source as a string is basically displaying things to the standard output device. Okay, which is the console. So again, you have to configure this. Okay, and you configure this, and so right now we should have one logical handler and one message handler, meaning one SOAP message handler. Okay, and then you're going to deploy, and then you're going to test it again, by sending a client request. And now this time you should be able to see messages from both content handler as well as the message handler as well as a logical handler. Okay, so this is so these messages are from logical handlers. Okay, alright, so that's it. So I'm gonna give you guys about 13 minutes to finish this exercise.